New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages, the one that works. By Metropolitan Life Insurance. Get met. It pays. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. To more than 150 cities worldwide. Pitching for the Cubs this afternoon, right-hander Jeff Pico, who's 1-0 with an ERA of 0.00. And on the mound for the Mets, it's the doctor, Dwight Gooden, who is 8-1 with an ERA of 3.19.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Kiner, along with Steve Zabriskie, Rusty Staub, and Tim McCarver. Final game of this homestand. The Mets have won 6 and lost 6, but they say home cooking is good for you. But the Mets have really been struggling in spite of a 6-6 homestand. They have won 3 ball games in their last swing of the game.
As a matter of fact, it's been their last 3 wins, and coming in, I don't think the Mets have necessarily had a lot of hits this homestand, but they've had important hits, especially the last 3 ball games. And considering the way they have been swinging the bats and the way their relief pitching has been, they're very fortunate to be in the position that they are, 5.5 games in front of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So the Mets against the tough ball club, the ball club that they have always been sort of rivals of, the Chicago Cubs. And should be a great game on a beautiful day, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and also the ball game right after this message from Budweiser. Well, back here at Shea Stadium on a perfect day for a baseball game. The Mets against the Cubs, the final game of this homestand. The Mets a 13-game homestand, their longest of the year. And a sellout crowd here again as they had yesterday. The Mets are about 45,000 ahead of last year's attendance when they drew over 3 million people. 3 million here at the ballpark.
Here to sing the anthem for us today.
And now here to sing the national anthem, our own WWOR TV star, Morton Downey.
Morton Downey Jr.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Morton Downey, our national anthem, of course, his father, a great Irish tenor. And this capacity crowd settling in for the final game of this homestand.
Morton Downey Jr.'s dad was a great Irish tenor, I understand. And speaking of music, Ralphie boy, a couple of nights ago, as a matter of fact, the first game of this series, we were talking about Damon Berryhill. We mentioned Blue Berryhill. If the Cubs lost the game, he would be a Blue Berryhill. And I mentioned Fats Domino, and we are checking right now whether that Louis Armstrong made the recording before FD did or not. Because the other night, I wasn't sure. Mike Lupica is calling Jonathan Schwartz. We have Steve Jacobson of Newsday involved, Phil Pepe of the Daily News, Dan Castellanos involved, Steve Marcus of the Newsday, Dan, of course, with the Newark Star-Ledger. Everybody is about divided, actually, on this deal.
It is divided.
But it's about divided as to whether Louis Armstrong recorded Blueberry Hill before Fats Domino. So we don't know. Jonathan Schwartz didn't even know.
Well, now I got something going for
You
him.
certainly do. You got a good case. It's about 50-50 right now.
I was listening to Jonathan Schwartz on the way in today, and he had Rosemary Clooney on. Of
Yeah, I
course,
heard
she
that.
started in Cincinnati, and it was the Clooney sisters in Cincinnati. They used to follow the Cincinnati Reds all the time.
Phil Pepe.
Who won?
October 3rd, Fats Domino. Thanks, Phil. That is terrific. Both in 1956. This is wonderful. Look, 2 months apart. Fats Domino recorded Blueberry Hill October 13th, 1956. Louis Armstrong, December 15th, 1956.
I'm going to demand a recount.
That's terrific. Thanks, Phil. Ralph wants a recount, he said.
2 months. Well, after all.
By the way, that's courtesy of CBS FM radio. All right.
Well, now we got that solved. As you look at Doc Gooden, who is going to try and solve his program and problem with the Chicago Cubs. Although he's not had a problem with the Chicago Cubs overall, Gooden 13-3 lifetime against the Cubs. This year he's 8-1, and he has worked a total of 90 1/3 innings with an earned run average of 3.19. He's walked 21, struck out 67. And this is the anniversary of Doc Gooden's return to baseball last year after his drug rehabilitation. It was on this date that he pitched and won against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So I guess Dwight is 8 wins ahead of last year and 1 loss behind. And here's the Cub lineup for the afternoon. Dave Martinez, the center fielder, leading it off. Rafael Palmeiro, the right fielder, hitting second. Jerry Mumphrey in left field batting third, and Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman, hitting fourth. How many second basemen do you see batting fourth? Mark Grace at first base, batting fifth. There's Damon Berryhill, the catcher, batting sixth. Manny Trio, who was with the Cubs earlier in the middle 70s, is hitting seventh. Sean Dunston from Brooklyn, New York, batting eighth. And Jeff Pico, who pitched a shutout in his only start so far this year, batting ninth.
And behind Doc Gooden, the Mets have set up Keith Hernandez at first base, Wally Backman playing second base, Kevin Elster the shortstop, and Dave Magadan the third baseman. Howard Johnson missing his first game start this year. In the outfield, Kevin McReynolds, a hero of yesterday's ball game. Also in center field, Lenny Dykstra, and in right field, Darryl Strawberry. The catcher is Gary Carter. The umpires for this game, the crew chief, Bob Engel, calling the balls and strikes. Paul Runge at first base. Joe West, the umpire, at second base. And Charlie Williams, the umpire, at third. Dave Martinez will lead it off. Martinez has not had a hit in this series against the Mets. Batting .233 for the year with 2 home runs, 26 runs batted in. He is 0 for 9 in this 4-game series. And he has an idea about bunting, takes a strike. The Cubs as a team hitting .262. They are tied with the Mets for the most home runs in the National League with 51. And the Cubs have scored 231 runs behind the Mets. The Mets lead the National League with 240 runs scored. 4th game of this series. The Mets have won 2 and the Cubs have won 1. And that pitch of ball, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Don Zimmer, the manager of the Cubs, taking over this year. Jim Frey, the general manager, former Mets coach, and this ball hit down the left field line, curving toward foul territory and out of play. So Doc Gooden with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got the shades on now, huh?
Yep, sitting to Randy Myers' left. Looks like Randy's having some popcorn there.
A little picnic.
To his left, Jeff Ennis, who won his first Major League game. Yesterday's game. Kevin McReynolds' home run. Sure has been an exciting week for Mets baseball.
It has been unbelievable. The Mets coming back to tie ball games and keep it going until they finally pull it out with home runs against the Dodgers in the 11th inning. Elster had a home run to win it. Then it was Howard Johnson, a home run to win it in the 13th. And yesterday in the 13th, a home run by Kevin McReynolds. This ball bouncing off of Keith Hernandez, but Gooden is there in time to take his throw.
Sometimes, instead of arriving the same time the ball does, the pitcher becomes the first baseman. Watch how Gooden will stretch like Hernandez does. See, he's on the bag, and you actually, as a pitcher, you become the first baseman. Good play.
Even use the neighborhood play there, timing the catcher coming off the bag. So one away, and Rafael Palmeiro will be the batter, hitting .338, second in the National League. He has 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in, and the first pitch is strike. Bobby Bonilla leading the league at hitting at .340, Palmeiro at .338, and then Galarraga at .336. And Gooden's fastball is fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Palmeiro, a tough man to strike out. He's had 7 strikeouts in his last 228 plate appearances. Won every 33 times to the plate. And of course, you got Doc Gooden on the mound, a strikeout pitcher. And this ball hit in the air to center field. Dykstra drifting back and making the catch. Palmeiro has had 2 home runs off of Doc Gooden in his very brief major league career.
Boy, we have an update now on the Louis Armstrong situation.
This is becoming a big project.
Louis Armstrong recorded Blueberry Hill on September 6, 1945.
That's the one I was referring to.
WKCR radio called. So Louis Armstrong recorded it, and I guess he re-recorded it after Fats came out with his.
There you go.
So you're right,
Impeachable
Mr. K.
source, that's all. Ground ball taken by Elster and dropped as Elster takes it away from the second baseman, Wally Backman. But Backman would not have had a play, I don't believe. So Elster trying to use his momentum to catch that ball and throw.
Let's see how it's going to be scored. I think it's going to be an error.
Number 23.
Tough error, though.
Second baseman, Ryan
Had
Sandberg.
Backman fielded the ball, I don't think Wally would have had enough momentum going toward first to get Mumphrey, but it is going to be an error on Kevin Elster. Tough one.
So a runner on, Jerry Mumphrey, the batter, hitting in 172 before the year with no home runs and 3 runs batted in. Here's Ryan Sandberg batting cleanup, hitting .246 for the year with 9 home runs, 28 RBIs. Sandberg took over the cleanup position in the batting order 9 games ago, and Mumphrey chased back. Sandberg, since he's been batting in the cleanup position, has had 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in. So he has come up to the job. And Gooden misses, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Jim Murray had an interesting comment on Ryan Sandberg. He said if he were a golfer, he'd shoot 469s. If he were a boxer, he'd win on points. And if he were in a movie, he'd be your best friend. And that fastball for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes.
Probably be the best man, too.
He's an outstanding example as a ball player. Sandberg, the MVP in the National League in 1984, the year the Cubs won their division, losing to San Diego in the playoffs after winning the first 2 games. This ball gets away from Keith Hernandez, and Mumphrey moves on down to second, looks at third. He's being waved over. He stopped and now starts again and goes into third base as the throw comes home.
Tell you, that was a good play by Carter. Had he not come up with that ball, Mumphrey would have scored. I don't know whether Hernandez saw this or not. Takes you back to 1963, the Dodgers and Yankees, when Joe Pepitone lost the ball in the shirts of the crowd. But I guess that ball was farther away than I thought. Mumphrey walking to third. Watch this play by Carter. Good play by Gary, because Gooden is backing up third. Nobody's backing up Carter, and had that ball gotten by him, Mumphrey scores.
So an error charged against Dwight Gooden, the second in the inning. A runner at third base with 2 men out, and a 2-0 count on Ryan Sandberg. And a good fastball right on through, 2-1. Gooden lifetime 81 and 27. Sandberg lifetime with 99 home runs.
A lot of people put the blame on Pepitone for that series, but I believe it was in the 4th game, and the Dodgers won 4 in a row from the Yankees in the '63 World Series. But in that 4th game, Joe did lose the ball. I think it was in the 8th inning. Lost the ball in the white shirts.
And a high fly ball to right field, and Strawberry right there. That retires the side. 2 errors and 1 man left. The score at the end of 1/2 inning. The Cubs nothing, the Mets coming up. Now here's a word from the New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages. Jeff Pico on the mound for the Cubs. His second start in the major leagues. His first to beauty as he pitched a 4-hit shutout. Went 9 innings, struck out 6, gave up only 4 base hits. And that is his line right there. Jeff Pico, his first appearance ever against the Mets.
And the lineup for New York, Lynn Dykstra leading it off. Wally Backman, who's been playing great ball since Tim Tuffle was put on the DL. Keith Hernandez hitting third. Right fielder Darryl Strawberry hitting fourth. Kevin McReynolds, who won yesterday's game, as we said, 13 innings. He's batting fifth. Gary Carter tied the game in extra innings yesterday with a pinch hit. Dave Magadan, the third baseman, hitting seventh. Kevin Elster batting eighth. And Dwight Gooden on the mound, who is a good hitting pitcher, batting ninth.
And the first pitch to Dykstra, bunted hard and pulled out of the air on a good play by Jeff Pico. So 1 pitch and 1 away. Pico will be backed up by Grace at first, Sandberg at second, Dunston at shortstop, Trio at third. In the outfield, Mumphrey, Martinez, and Palmero. And the catcher is Blueberry Hill. Speaking of singers, Jeff Pico became the first pitcher in Cub history to pitch a complete game shutout in his first start in the major leagues in 54 years. And a ground ball on the first pitch to Wally Backman. And a quick out there. 2 pitches and 2 men away. Pico pitched the fastest game in the major leagues in his game start. Backman hitting 244 before the out. No home run, 6 runs batted in. The last pitcher to pitch a complete game shutout in his debut was King Cole. Speaking of artists.
Not Nathaniel King Cole.
Not Nathaniel King Cole, who was a great Cub fan. I used to see him all the time at Wrigley Field.
Big Cardinal fan, too.
It was Leonard King Cole back in October 6, 1909 that pitched that shutout. And the first pitch to Keith Hernandez, ball 1. Keith hitting .292 with 5 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Keith 1 for 11 against the Cubs. And the fastball fouled away.
Nat King Cole became a Cardinal fan and a very good friend of the ex-equipment manager of the Cardinals, Butch Maurice Yatkeman, who started off as a bat boy, was the equipment manager for 62 years for the Cardinals. Also a big friend of Harry James.
Yeah, Harry James was a big Cardinal fan. In fact, at one time he had his own baseball team. 2 balls, 1 strike to Keith Hernandez, and a ground ball right at Sandberg at second. And the throw to first base retires the side. So a quick inning for Jeff Pico, and the score at the end of 1 as the Mets go in order. The Cubs nothing, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from the good old guys. Top of the second, a beautiful day for baseball here at Shea. No score, and the Cubs batting with Mark Grace to lead off. Amazing Grace, as long as we're staying with unusual nicknames.
That's right. Blueberry Hill on deck.
Grace 1 for 15 in this series. He has not struck out. He struck out only once in his last 71 plate appearances, and he grounds this one to the second baseman, Wally Backman.
Tell you, Ralph, we were talking about Harry James the last inning. You know how that relationship started as a Cardinal fan?
Number 9, the catcher,
Father-in-law, who was Betty Grable's father, Betty Grable from St. Louis, and Betty's father, C.C. Johnson Spinks, who started the Sporting News, and August A. Bush used to hobnob together at the local museums and libraries in the St. Louis area.
Very good.
They did, and that's how Harry became a Cardinal fan. Harry told me that story years ago.
Harry James, a very close friend of Phil Harris, and they used to work Las Vegas together. And every time I go to see Phil Harris, I see Harry, and then he'd talk baseball. Phil Harris, also a big baseball fan. Here is Damon Berryhill. He goes after the breaking ball for strike 2. Berryhill batting .245. He has 1 home run. That was a home run against the Mets in this series, his first major league home run. It put the Cubs up 1-0 in the 10th inning. That came off David Cone. Mets came back to tie it on the pinch hit by Lee Mazzilli. And strike 3. So Berryhill goes down the hill.
Gooden buries him with a fastball away on the corner. Boy, that is a quality fastball right there. Gooden looks sharp today.
As a matter of fact, Gooden is ahead of his Cy Young pace. Back in 1985, he was 24-4 and had an earned run average of 1.53. At this same time, in that year, he was 8-3. And this year, he has a record of 8-1.
Not bad. You're 8-3 June 5th, and you end up 24-4.
That means you only lost one more ball game.
Out of your last 17 decisions.
Wow. 2 balls, no strikes as Manny Trillo stands in the batter's box. Trillo hitting .228 with no home runs, 4 runs batted in. Last year hit .294. Mets have the best ERA in the major leagues at 2.99 and a strike call, 2-1. See where Mel Stoudemire's son picked up a victory the other day. Todd Stoudemire.
5 innings in long relief. He's 2-7 now. Relegated to the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays playing better ball at 5 in a row, I believe.
Three and 1, the count to Manny Trillo. And his foul back out of play. Manny Trillo, the batter when Don Zimmer put on his infamous or famous hit-and-run play with the bases loaded. Don said it had worked 4 times previously. Trillo swung and missed. The Mets got a double play on the strikeout. There is the affable Don Zimmer.
He is that colorful guy.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Elster. And the smooth play for the out that retires the side in order. The score at the end of 1.5 innings. It's the Cubs nothing, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from Meineke. Well, we're going now to the bottom half of the second, and what do you do when you're 17 years of age? Well, you take a little nap now and then. There's Mr. Tim McCarver. Baseball is my whole life, and I hope it will be that way for the next 20 to 25 years. As it turned out, it's that way for about the next 40 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 0-1 to Strawberry. How'd you dig that thing up?
Somebody sent it to me in the mail.
Got to
17 years of age at Rochester.
Rochester, New York. I was staying at the Sheraton Hotel there. It's 0-2 to Darrell. I was just called up. I'd met the team in Buffalo. Oh, come on.
Look at those
what a yarn
cab doors. I knew you were going to be a broadcaster when I saw that picture.
I knew in about 30 years I was going to run into Lenny Dykstra.
The best quote of all in the article, though, was the fact that the game that you caught that night was a game that went long time into the night and ended at 12:15. And the article said that's probably the latest that Tim McCarver has been up in his life. Boy, has that changed.
1 out. A Strawberry grounds the second. Boy, I'm telling you, what an indictment. By the way, folks, you're watching Mets Baseball 88, if you didn't know, on WWOR-TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. And here's Kevin McReynolds.
You and Mike Lupa could get in on me about Satchel Paige. I had to get Satchel Paige.
Tell you.
Louis Armstrong. I had to get on you for that.
You came roaring back, 1-0 to McReynolds.
Thanks to Jeff Mitchell, our producer-director.
Bellinger. Good slider from Pico. 1-1. Jeff Pico, what a story. Outside and low, 2 balls and a strike. He walked no one in his first start, winning 4-0 over Cincinnati. And the Cub broadcasters, Dwayne Statt, Steve Stone. Liner to right, it might drop, but Palmeiro tracks it down. 5 in a row retired by Pico. But the broadcaster's very impressed with the poise of this young man, only 22 years old.
He ought to have some poise. He was driving the car after a photo session at a ballpark in Des Moines, And a wall fell on the car and totaled the car, and he and his brother both got out of it.
Wow.
They were at an intersection, and there you see Harry Carey and Steve Stone. And parked there waiting for the light to change, and a wall collapsed right on their car.
That was while he was pitching this year at Iowa, right?
Wow.
Low, ball one to Gary Carter. Gary tied the game with a pinch single in the 11th inning yesterday. Gary's second pinch single. After not having a pinch hit, he was 0 for 26 in his last pinch hit coming earlier in the week. His first pinch hit since 1977. 2-0 to Carter. Cue shot, 2-1. No score, bottom of 2. Gary with 299 home runs. He's had only 1 home run since April 24th. Slider on the corner, 2-2.
Oh, there's a quality pitch right there. Man, this is that good slider, hard slider. Quick movement, and that's what you look for in a good slider. Looks like a fastball and then makes that move.
Curveball is high, 3-2 to Gary.
Some pitchers have an average age of 24 years.
Fouled away. Cubs starters are third in the league behind the Mets starters and the Houston Astros starters as far as their ERA is concerned. So this is a much improved Cub ball club.
And with that youth, he'll be down the line.
Around for a long time. Well, that's the first walk issued by Pico. Jeff has not allowed an earned run in his last 30 2/3 innings. 10 2/3 in the majors and 20 innings at Iowa. Here's Dave Magadan. Dave, a slow start, but has picked up dramatically of late. Ball one. A scoreless, hitless ball game so far on a splendid afternoon. Absolutely beautiful. Full house here at Shea. No other place I'd rather be, my friend. Glad you've joined us this afternoon. It is absolutely beautiful. No humidity or little humidity. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. Been a rainy week, a lot of extra inning games, several rain delays this past week. Exciting, low-scoring baseball. Mets have really had a tough time putting numbers on the board. Their pitching staff has really carried them through this homestand. Outside ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Dave Magadan.
You know, the Cub pitchers have really been tough this year. 5 times the Cub pitchers pitched 9 shutout innings, and amazingly, their record 2-3 in those 5 games. They lost 3 of them.
Outside ball 3. So some unusual wildness for the young Jeff Pico from Antioch, California. I understand that's around Livermore, up near San Francisco, southeast of San Francisco.
Your kind of country, wine country.
Really pretty. Fouled away, 3-2 to Dave.
I spent a little time in Livermore, but not the kind of quality time you would think. I was in the Navy in Livermore, trying to learn how to fly.
Several major leaguers are from Livermore. Mark Davis of the Padres, Randy Lersch, formerly of the Philadelphia Phillies.
It's a little warm up there.
Carter, and Magadan fouls it away. So Gary retreats to first. He'll be off again with the count 3 balls, 2 strikes to Magadan, 2 outs, no score, bottom of 2. Magadan hit it hard. Carter retreating now to first base. Boy, you love that as a catcher.
Oh, yeah, he practically had the day off yesterday.
That's true. Gary not starting. Davy Johnson doing a fine job with everybody, giving everybody a chance to play and resting the older players before they need resting. That's very, very important.
That is the most important thing. When you need to be rested, you're too far gone. Of course, Carter did play third base in yesterday's ball game.
Third time in his career, and the first time since 1986 that Gary was at third. Ground ball sharply, so that's an idea of how Magadan hits. Line drive down the left field line. The next pitch, a line drive pull, foul down the right field line. Still 3-2.
And the pitch determined where he hit the ball. The first one was a fastball. He hit it down the left field line. Now this breaking ball, he pulls. Wall-to-wall type hitter.
Very difficult to defend a hitter like Magadan, and for that reason the Cubs about straight away. Fouled again, and Carter for the 5th time retreats to first base.
He's probably saying, I don't need this.
He's looking into the Mets dugout saying, twinkle toes, huh?
I know a few catchers, and I'm not talking about the present one sitting next to me, that would have to call a little timeout by now.
Now, you can include the one sitting next to you. So here we go again. Get some oxygen out for Gary.
It's great to see a ball player have fun playing this game.
And he does. Came to the big leagues in 1974. What a marvelous career. Grounder up the middle, base hit. So Magadan and Carter. And the Mets rewarded. Here comes Carter. As Perlaza waved him home and then stopped him around third as Martinez bobbled the ball. No error given on the play.
Well, I think really Carter ran out of gas. The ball out in center field, bobbled by Martinez, and as Tim called it, Sammy Palazzo did wave him in, but Carter just put the brakes on and said, no, I don't think I'll try. I think it's a good thing he didn't.
I do too, the way Martinez recovered. Watch. So the Mets have runners at the corners, 2 outs. Here's Kevin Elster. Kevin batting .211 on the year with 4 home runs. No score, bottom of 2. Slider fouled away, 0-1.
Elster 0 for 9 in this series. In watching Pico pitch, you get the impression that he'll throw a breaking ball anytime. So you have to be really aware of that, even though this is the first time the Mets have seen him. He threw a slider on a 3-2 count. So you know he's going to throw that slider anytime.
Curveball is high. 1-1 to Elster. Magadan, by the way, got the first hit of the ball game. That single up the middle after Carter had walked. The Mets have runners at first and third. 2 outs in the 2nd inning. Outside in the low, 2-1. swing back to Pico. And Jeff throws out Kevin. No runs, a hit, 2 left. After 2, no score, and we're back after this from Nissan. Top of the 3rd inning, no score. And Gary Carter, a well-deserved drink of water, huh? Like going through the Gobi Desert that last time on base. Here's Sean Dunston to lead it off for the Cubs here in the 3rd. Back to Gooden, only appropriate, huh? 1 and 5 in 1982. The 1st round draft choice and the 5th round draft choice. 1 out.
The Mets had said that if they had had the 1st round draft choice, they would have taken Sean Dunston. But they had the 5th choice, and of course Dunston was gone to the Cubs, and they took Dwight Gooden.
Here's Jeff Pico. I'm sure. Little check swing to right field. Strawberry makes the play. 2 out. Nice play by Darryl Strawberry.
Well, Pico making a bid for his 1st major league hit, and this gives you an idea how lively the ball is. It's a check swing, and Strawberry comes in to make the catch of a semi-line drive. Good running play by Strawberry. He was shaded over near the line with the pitcher hitting.
So Martinez now taking a lot of time since 2 pitches were thrown by Gooden. And you might see Dave take the 1st pitch to give Pico a little breather. There's Jeff. I was going to say, Ralph, that I'm sure what entered the Mets' mind when they were drafting that year was that if Dunston were available, since the Mets had finished last 5 or 6 years in a row from the late 70s, 77, 78 to 82, that they might as well get a local product to boost attendance. Not only the talent, but certainly if you've got a fine young player like Dunston. And Martinez is taking 0-1 to Dave.
Well, the potential on Dunston is still there. He's an outstanding talent.
Well, I'll tell you, got the best arm of any shortstop in the big leagues now. Don Zimmer can see that maturation process. It's got to be very satisfying to a manager, I would think. 1-1 to Martinez.
Well, Zimmer was really sticking up for Dunston when they were trying to find out a place for Larry Bowa to play. They had acquired Bowa, and he, of course, a veteran and an outstanding shortstop. And Zimmer did not like Bowa. In fact, he made some strong statements about Bowa, saying he was the most selfish ball player he ever had seen. And then, of course, Jim Fry, the manager at that time, was all for Dunston. He wanted him in that starting lineup to develop as a player. And Jim Fry now the general manager of the Cubs.
Taking over for Dallas Green over the winter. 3 balls and a strike to Dave Martinez. No score, 2 out here in the 3rd. High, so Martinez walks. First walk issued by Gooden. Before that base on balls, Dwight had retired 6 in a row. There you see Sean Dunston. Rafael Palmeiro, the batter. Jerry Mumphrey on deck. Palmeiro fly to center his first at bat.
Dunston hit .790 as a senior at Thomas Jefferson High School in Brooklyn, so there was some pretty good power back of that choice.
His high school offensive numbers sounded like fielding averages. There goes Martinez. The pitch is strike 1, and the throw is errant by Carter. Stolen base number 5 for Dave Martinez. So he's at second with 2 outs.
Cubs get their 25th stolen base in 43 attempts. Carter had a good pitch to handle the fastball, but he gets it on the wrong side of second and too high.
Yeah, there are times that we have mentioned that Gary hasn't had a chance to throw the runner out. He did then, but the throw to the third base side, it's no balls and a strike to Palmeiro. Curveball by Carter. Martinez now to third. Probably a wild pitch, but that ball could have been handled.
Well, Carter's one of the best in the business behind the plate on balls in the dirt, but this one gets away as the curveball hits there and spins through. That's the second wild pitch by Dwight Gooden this year, and the second time the Cubs have had a runner at third base with no hits.
First time an error by Elster in the first inning, and Jerry Mumphrey went to third base on a throwing error by Dwight Gooden. 1-1 to Palmeiro. 2 balls and a strike to Rafael. Curveball is low. 3-1.
Palmeiro, an unusual type baseball player. He is a man who doesn't strike out and hits with power.
A pretty good sandwich right there. Foul back. 3-2. He went 29 at bats in the big leagues without swinging through a pitch, and the first pitch through which he swung was thrown by Dwight Gooden. And in his next at bat off Gooden, he hit a home run. That was September 17th, 1986. Curveball grounded to the right side. Great play. Backman to get Palmeiro. Good play, Wally Backman. No runs, no hits, 1 left. At the end of 2.5, no score, and we're back after this from British Airways.
Well, Wally Backman right here saving the run with this brilliant play as he dives for the ball, comes up with it, and then still throws out Palmeiro from that position. So it's scoreless as we go to the bottom half of the third.
Liner to center, but there's Martinez, 1 out. Mike Lupica just brought us a little note saying Satchmo didn't sing Mary Lou, right? Mary Lou was sung by Ricky Nelson.
He's going to try and worm out of this, I know.
Well, that's when you're dead wrong. You just try to weasel out of it. That's
Never admit you're wrong.
Never admit you're wrong. That's right. Here's Dykstra. Lenny a bunt attempt, and he got too much of it, and Pico made a nice play his first at bat. Strike 1 to Dykstra.
That's like the old saying, I thought I was wrong one time, but I was wrong.
Sharply off the glove of Grace. Guess you could call that a grace period. We'll see how it's scored.
Well, when you do have the reputation for bunting, as Lenny Dykstra has, it shortens up the third baseman and first baseman, and you get a chance to hit hard ground balls that might not be caught, and that's exactly the case as Grace was playing right there even with the bag. He got his glove on it. It pops away. And we'll see how it's scored.
Has not been scored yet. Here's Wally Backman. Wally batting .360 over his last 14 games after going 4 for his first 33. Dykstra-Backman combo really leads to big innings for the Mets. If they can get on for the meat of the order, that usually is quite fruitful for New York. High, ball 1.
That was certainly the story in 1986. Both Backman and Dykstra had good years along with Mookie Wilson, and those table setters were on.
By the way, Mark Grace did commit an error. That's the third error of the ball game. Ball Dykstra hit. We'll see if Davy Johnson puts Lenny in motion. There's Mark. No score, bottom of the third inning. Dykstra not running, and Backman takes ball 2, 2-0. Sammy Perlazo has really fit into the Mets scheme beautifully, hasn't he?
You know, you don't even notice him, and that's when you know you got a good third base coach. It's like a good umpire. No trouble.
Ball 3 to Beckman. So 3-0 to Wally. Perlazo, a very aggressive third base coach, and that's what managers like. They like guys who will take calculated risks. Inside and low. That's the second walk issued by Beckman, or by Pico. And Beckman's at first, and Dykstra's at second. So the knives and the forks are on base. And here's Hernandez.
And he can dish it out.
Can he ever? Even though he has slid a bit in his last few games, Keith batting .352 in his last 35. 33 RBIs on the year, tied with Andres Galarraga for 5th place in the National League.
Galarraga's just tearing up the league.
Oh, what a year he's had.
.336, third in hitting. He leads in home runs with 14. Multiple hit games with 24. Slugging percentage at .635.
Second in hits, second in runs. Good cut, foul back off the left arm of Damon Berryhill. No balls and a strike to Hernandez. 2 on, 1 out, no score. Montreal losing to the Pirates at Pittsburgh 2-0 that game in the 4th inning. Cardinals on top of the Phillies again, going for the sweep today. Well, those Redbirds strike on the corner. 0-2 to Hernandez.
After a horrendous start, they are now 6 games over 500, 6.5 back of the Mets, and the Mets go to St. Louis for a 3-game series starting tomorrow.
Way outside, a ball and 2 strikes to Hernandez. Pitching matchup, Sid Fernandez against Larry McWilliams. Gosh, has he done a terrific job. And then David Cohn against John Tudor on Tuesday. Bobby Ojeda against Jose De Leon Wednesday night. That'll be our game on WWOR. 8:30 New York time. Planning to be with us.
Tudor with an earned run average of less than 1 run per game. He's 0.98, leading the National League. McWilliams is 1.79, 4th. Boy, he's a reclaimer too.
I'll tell you,
Nobody wanted him.
signed as a free agent. I mean, he was in no man's land, and now he's in Whitey Herzog's land. Low, ball 2. 2-2 to Hernandez.
Tell you, if you want Whitey Herzog to like you got to be left-handed.
Got to be a left-handed pitcher,
That's
don't
right.
you?
He loves those left-handed pitchers.
Keith had waited long enough. You see Hernandez do that often. He likes to hit at his rhythm and his pace. Grounded sharply. Great play, Pico, to turn the double play. Had Pico not caught that ball, it would surely have been a base hit, and the Mets would have been on top. They failed to score. They strand 1 after 3. No score. We're back after this from Budweiser. A brilliant play by Jeff Pico. Watch this in between hop that he spears, and an easy double play once he catches it, especially with Dunstan's arm. So no score after 3. We're proud to welcome Morton Downey Jr. to our booth, and Ralph Kiner in for the play-by-play, unless you want to do it, Morton.
No way. When I got the king here doing, how you doing, Ralphie?
Okay, fine, Morton. How
Good,
about
pal.
you?
Good. You got the cigar chomp down pretty good, don't you?
Well, I learned everything I knew from Tim McCarver.
And it's not. And look at it. It's not even smoked. It's just chewed up to the light.
A little bouncy ball to shortstop. Elster has it and turns it into an out as the leadoff batter, Jerry Mumphrey, grounds out off Dwight Gooden. Morton, you sound like a baseball fan.
I love baseball. Love baseball. Always get tired by the third quarter, though.
Let me ask you, did your dad ever sing the national anthem?
Yeah, Pop sang the national anthem at the Democratic National Convention. God bless him, and I'm sorry that he sang it at the Democratic Convention. Too bad I wasn't a Republican.
Well, anyway, the batter coming up now is Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg flied out to right field his first time up. You know, I've never really figured out why anybody would want to sing the national anthem at a ballpark, because it's so difficult to do, because you got the feedback from the sound coming in after you have already said the words.
Yeah, but it's so great. I put earplugs in. Whoa, ball that time.
So that's your secret, huh?
Pay no attention to it, Ralph. I just get out there, and of course I'm so nervous and so frightened I just sing.
Good job. Your dad would be proud of you. Although ground ball to second base and Backman has it. Your dad an average tenor, and you're not a tenor.
No, I'm a baritone.
And while Morton Downey sits in here with us, this game is brought to you in part by the Good Olds guys, your New York, New Jersey, and Southern Connecticut Oldsmobile dealers, and by Tropicana.
Which you'll notice I'm drinking right now.
Tropicana, right?
Yeah. On top of something else.
So 2 men away, and Mark Grace the batter. Grace grounded out his first time up. Dwight Gooden working on the mound. He has had just 2 base runners, one on an error and the other on a walk, and that pitch a ball. Grace 1 for 16 in this series against the Mets, his first appearance ever. Started the season in the minor leagues. They made room for him when they traded off Leon Durham. And the fastball fouled off.
I'll tell you one thing. Doing a baseball game, you're finding out, it's a lot easier than doing your show.
No, my show's hard. This baseball game is lovely. This is great. This is a lot of fun. And being with 2 of my all-time heroes, one Hall of Famer and another who, if he isn't in the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years, there's no justice. Ooh, wow, that was right in the dugout.
Should see some white towels coming out.
Into the Cubs den, huh? There's Rick Sutcliffe in the right of your screen. Rick on the DL and should come off the disabled list next week.
That looks like he's got a mouth bigger than Morton Downey Jr.
I'm glad you said that.
Because I knew you wanted to, Ralph.
That's Al Nipper, the right-handed pitcher.
Ground ball right at Backman, perfectly stationed, and the Cubs go in order. The score at the end of 3.5 innings, the Mets nothing, the Cubs nothing. Now here's a word from the Good Olds guys. Well, we're going to the bottom of the 4th, no score. The Mets have the only base hit, a single by Dave Magadan. And here in the 4th inning, it'll be Darryl Strawberry to lead it off. Darryl grounded out his first time up. Jeff Pico on the mound for the Cubs, his second major league start. And this ball hit out to deep left center field. A long run for Martinez. Makes a dive. It doesn't make the catch. Strawberry hobbling down to second base and holding there.
Darryl still nursing that groin problem. Otherwise, this is surely a triple. This ball really going away from Martinez. Dave gives it everything he has, but it's off the end of his glove, and the Mets have their leadoff runner on, Darryl Strawberry, for the first time in this ball game. Nice try by Martinez. That ball just kept tailing. Couldn't catch up to it.
So the Mets with a runner at second base and no one out, and Kevin McReynolds the batter. Kevin flied out to right field his first time up. And this time he tries to go toward right field, fouls it off. McReynolds in this series 4 for 14 with a home run. Home run coming yesterday in the 13th inning to win it for the Mets. One ball, one strike. The Mets at home have won 17 and lost 9. On the road, they have won 19 and lost 8. are 5-0 in extra inning ball games. The 1-1 pitch hit up to the shortstop, and Dunston an idea about going to third, and he had a chance there, but he took the sure out, firing to first base, and Strawberry crosses over.
Great base running by Strawberry. Just terrific base running. Lands on the right foot. Reaction going to third. Dunston, it was so close, and I think Darrell was running, and Darrell is so tall that you really lose sight of the third baseman if you're a shortstop. So that even inclined Dunston more to go to first base because he probably couldn't see Trio over Strawberry.
I think that's a good analogy because that Strawberry running there, he really blocked out the third baseman. Now it's Gary Carter, and the infield is in, and that pitch, a breaking ball for ball 1.
Watch the reactions of Strawberry. Now there goes Darrell. You put yourself in Dunston's position. See, he looks to third, and he probably couldn't see Trio, and now he goes to first. Good base running by Strawberry.
And that pitch, a breaking ball again. 2 balls, no strikes. The infield is in, and Dunston is shaded over in the hole. Carter, generally a dead pull hitter. In fact, his pinch hit yesterday was between the third baseman and shortstop. That tied up the ball game and sent it into extra innings. And again, the slider, a strike call, 2-1. Good hard slider. A lot of pitchers throw what is almost a slurve for a slider. The ideal slider looks like a fastball and then slides over, hence its name. Tight spin in the ball. Again, the breaking ball, and it's 3-1 to Gary Carter.
You gotta like the no-nonsense approach that Jeff Pico has. In his first shutout, he pitched the quickest game in the majors this year, 1 hour and 57 minutes, and this game is moving along rapidly. He just gets the ball and throws it. I like that.
You know, you're starting to see more pitchers throw that way. Darling has finally come around to that philosophy. Foul ball, 3-2. Carter walked on a 3-2 pitch his first time up. The first walk issued in the major leagues by Jeff Pico. This first game he did not walk a batter, pitched a 4-hit shutout, striking out 6.
Well, he threw slider 1-1, slider 2-1, fastball 3-1. He's probably reestablished the slider. Well, looks like a fastball.
And it was a fastball, and Carter is struck out. Big strikeout for Pico as he challenged Carter on the 3-2 pitch.
Well, he saved his first strikeout for his biggest one.
Third baseman, Dave
Good
Magadan.
fastball right there.
That'll bring up Dave Magadan.
I think they're going to walk him, aren't they?
First base is open, and behind him, Kevin Elster, a right-hand batter, and he's going to be walked intentionally. Magadan singled his first time up. So the intentional walk to Magadan. First intentional of this game, and third walk by Pico. Elster has not had a base hit in this series. He's 0 for 10. He was out in a check swing with a runner at third and 2 men out in the second.
Okay, look, while we have a minute, St. Louis is over Philadelphia. 1-0. The Cardinals playing great baseball. Montreal has tied Pittsburgh 2-2 in the fourth. Houston and San Francisco later on. Cincinnati at Los Angeles and Atlanta at San Diego on our Nissan National League scoreboard.
The Dodgers leading Houston by 1.5 games, San Francisco by 4, Cincinnati by 6.5. So Kevin Elster with runners at first and third and 2 men out. And he gets a good pitch to hit and misses it. High curveball.
High curveball, fat part of the plate. Kevin pulling off just a bit. I think that more than anything else is the problem with the Met hitters as a team. That front side's leaving, and that usually is the problem with most hitters when things go bad. Front shoulder.
And a good hard slider, strike 2, and that pitch a good one. Mets have really had a tough homestand. They're hitting right around 210 on this homestand.
If you're a catcher right now, you have to decide what you're going to do with the ball if the runner at first goes. It's a good running situation. Davy Johnson may try to steal a run here.
Curveball sign put down. And it is a curveball, so the count 1-2. Good block by Berryhill. Baggett in at first base. And with a runner at third, Strawberry there, you don't want to take any chances about being thrown out. Jeff Pico. Showing a lot of cool.
Yes, he is.
Slider, base hit to center field. Strawberry comes in to score, and the Mets lead it 1-0. Kevin Elster spoils the strategy.
Rusty Staub ready to enter in the 5th inning, talking about going back through the middle, and I was thinking the same thing. The best way to correct the opening the front side is to hit the ball back through the middle, because you can't hit the ball back through the middle with your shoulder open. You just point your shoulder at the pitcher. Let the hands open the shoulder. That's a good piece of hitting by Elster on a good pitch. Good slider from Pico.
First run scored off Pico in his major league career. He had gone 12 innings without allowing a run, and now the batter is Dwight Gooden. Gooden lined out to center field his first time up. Gooden has driven in 6 runs. He's had 8 hits. Runners at first and second, 2 men away. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Mets leading 1-0. Gooden leads all pitchers in RBIs with his 6th. And he pops it up into shallow center field. Martinez fighting the sun, and he makes the play. That will end the inning, but the Mets score on 1 hit. They leave 2, make that 2 hits. They leave 2, and the score at the end of 4. It is the Mets 1 and the Cubs nothing. Now here's a word from Manufacturers Hanover. The telecast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and WWOR-TV and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and WWOR-TV is prohibited. And the first pitch as Rusty Staub joins us here in the broadcast. It is in there for strike 1. Damon Berryhill, the batter. Damon struck out his first time up. The only strikeout that Gooden has in this game, and the fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Rusty, we have been challenged. You don't know about this, do you? We've been challenged to a game of stickball.
You and I?
You and I and Tim and Fran Healy. Ground ball foul, and the stakes are, of course, for the beer the losing team has to play. Have you ever played stickball?
I played a type of stickball, I guess, but it was only just in like a backyard. We had to use. In New Orleans, you didn't have a lot of room where I grew up. There wasn't many fields. There was a lot of concrete and houses.
Of course, that's where the game originated, on the streets of New York.
True.
Well, I've never played it. And that pitch is strike call, and Berryhill called out on strikes for the 2nd time as Gooden goes to the fastball for the 2nd time.
And East Side American League scoreboard, New York over Baltimore 9-1 after 3. Bottom of the 4th, Toronto over Boston 5-3. Detroit is over Cleveland now 4-2, top of the 4th. Oakland, no runs. Minnesota 2, that's top of the 2nd. Everything else is just getting underway. Texas at Chicago, Seattle at Kansas City, and California at Milwaukee.
And now Manny Trillo, the batter. Trillo grounded out his first time up, and the fastball for ball 1. Trillo batted .294 last year in a utility role. He is one of the outstanding defensive players in the game. As a matter of fact, he hasn't made an error since June 4th, 1987. That's over a year. And he holds the record for fielding as a second baseman in the National League. Handled 419 total chances. Outstanding defensive play. Went 89 games without an error. Joe Morgan went 91 over 2 seasons. So Trio with the record in the National League for a single season. Gooden has the count at 2 balls and 1 strike to Manny Trio. 3-1.
The pitch prior to that ball that Dwight Gooden threw for a strike is one of those high strikes that the National League has been trying to get their umpires to call it. You see the breakdown on Gooden. 8 on the ground, 3 in the air, 2 Ks.
He's been throwing more and more grounders, and that's because of the curveball. Fastball fouled back.
Dwight is not as much of a strikeout pitcher in the daytime as he has been in the night. Everyone is aware that his record at nighttime has been awesome. In the daytime, it's been good.
Really better than good, but not comparable to his night ball games.
Well, agreed.
Goes to the curve, a check swing. Gooden makes a great play. Has an easy throw and makes it to Keith Hernandez. So the bid for the base hit is taken away on Gooden's fine defensive play.
Shortstop Sean Dunston.
Gooden's going to get inside on him. Really jams him up in there. Just kind of half swing there. Bounces out. Gooden showing great agility here. Just picked that ball up and just made it look easy. Hernandez made that throw look easy too. He had to come across the bag there. That throw was up the line a little.
And now Dunston bounces it out toward Keith Hernandez, who handles it at first base, and another fine inning for Dwight Gooden. And the score at the end of 4.5 innings, the Mets won, the Cubs nothing. Now here's a word from Delta Airlines. Well, the Mets leading by a score of 1-0. And there's a good shot of Darryl Strawberry.
He's got that wrapped thumb that he hurt. He was just talking to Bob Sykes about rewrapping it. Sometimes that pressure on that thumb just after you use it for a while loosens up. I see he wants to do something here to strengthen that wrapping there.
Of course, that thumb is very important when it's the top hand on the bat. And Dykstra singles to left field as he goes with the pitch, and Lenny is on.
There have been some good signs with Lenny Dykstra swinging lately. He was pulling off the ball. These last few days, he hit some really good base hits to left field and up the middle. Certainly in the early part of the year last year and this year, he hit a couple of home runs. Seemed as though he was going to then try to set a record on home runs for a leadoff hitter. It did not work.
Now Wally Backman, the batter. Wally has walked. He also has grounded out. And that's ball 1. Talking about that stick ball, I was sent a stick ball bat. Sabu and Weiss and company make them.
Is that like a broomstick bat?
It's like a broomstick. An Al Simmons model bat. Al Simmons used a 42-inch bat, the longest ever used in Major League Baseball. It's a limit, as a matter of fact. But of course, the stick ball is, the bat of a stick ball game is very small in circumference.
All I can tell you is we're going to be at a great disadvantage if we're stupid enough to take this wager.
Well, I'm not showing up. I don't know about you.
Geez, I haven't taken batting practice, but one time at one of the old-timer games since October 3rd, 1983. I don't think I could hit a baseball.
Boy, it goes fast, I'll tell you. There goes the runner, and the ball pulled in the hole, and it's a base hit. Dykstra goes to third, and the Mets on the perfectly executed hit-and-run play have runners at first and third, and Backman crossed everybody up by pulling the ball in the hole by the second baseman.
He certainly did. Ryan Sandberg starts moving towards second base, tries to stop and go back, but the ball is just going to beat him to right field. Dykstra coasts into third base.
And the Mets now with runners at first and third and no one out with Keith Hernandez, the batter. Keith robbed of a base hit his last time up and a chance to drive in a run. on a fine play by the pitcher, Pico, who took his ground ball and turned it into a double play. And the breaking ball is missed. Little things really are telltale about the ability of a player, and on the ground ball that Hernandez hit, Pico immediately reacted, made a perfect throw to second after making a great stop of a hard chance through the middle.
Hernandez struck out 104 times last year.
Most ever.
Which was really a high amount for him, and he has struck out a lot of times this year too. 30 times already this season. Seems as though that breaking ball, Ralph, is the one that's the pitch he's swinging at hard and coming off the ball a little bit.
You can tell his frustration right there. You're watching Mets Baseball 88 on WWR TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. Two strikes to count on Keith Hernandez, a runner at third, no one out. Also a runner at first base. Cubs are set up a double play depth, and this ball hit in the hole and a base hit. Dykstra scores, and the Mets lead it 2-0 as Hernandez comes through and picks up another run batted in.
Pico is basically a ground ball pitcher, but the Mets are hitting it in the ground where they are not. Hitting them where they ain't, as it is kind of expressed. It's one of the important things for a hitter to do. Hernandez hit it right in the hole, gets the Mets another run. And Don Zimmer wants to come out and talk to his pitcher.
Keith gets his 34th run batted in. And that is going to be all for Jeff Pico as he leaves the ball game for the first time in his major league career. He had pitched a complete game shutout his first major league start. So Pico leaves and DePina comes in, and we'll use the opportunity to hear this word from Garcia Vega.
There you're looking at young Pico, who has just left the ball game. Frank DePino, there you go, taking his warm-up tosses now, an 0-2 record, 4.45 earned run average. He's walked 9, struck out 26, and given up 37 hits in 33 and a third innings. That's a lot of hits per innings. He's had 3 saves. One of those 2 losses took place right here at Shea Stadium. Bottom of the 13th inning, Howard Johnson took him deep over the center field fence.
He had retired the first 3 batters he had faced in the 12th inning, and then Howard Johnson led off with that home run to give the Mets an exciting victory. Pico, 76 pitches, 31 balls, 45 strikes, 1 strikeout. And the batter for the Mets will be Darryl Strawberry. Runners at first and second. Darryl with a double in the 4th inning. Came in to score on a single with 2 men out by Kevin Elster for the first run of the game. Mets leading 2-0. Strawberry 1 for 2 in this game. And the first pitch for ball 1. With Pico leaving the ball game, the left-hander in there, DePino, and the pitch back to Strawberry, foul off the end of the bat. 1-1. Wally Backman, the runner at second base, and the runner at first, Keith Hernandez. 53% of the time this year, the Cubs starter had worked into the 7th inning. Some good pitching from the starters for the Cubs. And the fastball is missed, 1-2.
DePino got it in 69 games last year. Fastball is his best pitch, but he throws a good tight slider too. That one he just beat Strawberry on it. That fastball ran a little bit.
1-2 to Darryl Strawberry. DePino also throws a split finger fastball. That's been a new pitch for him, and that might have been it right there. Darryl swings and fouls it straight down.
Just gets a piece of this ball. It's a pretty good pitch. Tough pitch for the hitter. might have been the slider. Ball certainly moved quick.
Out of the strike zone.
That might have been that split finger you were talking about right there, Ralph. This little guy here, he had a rough night. He's taking a nap.
Well, after the long game yesterday, I guess he deserves it. 2-2, the count to Darryl Strawberry. Mets leading 2-0. Runners at first and second. And it's strike 3. So DePino brought in to pitch to the left-hand batter, and he picks up the strikeout.
Throws kind of a swerve here. It's a slider he throws. Good, hard, quick breaking pitch. He throws it so hard it appears to be a fastball, and right at the end, which is the most important thing, not just that it's a slider, is that it's a late breaking slider. And it's really tough for a left-hander to lay off that pitch.
That'll bring up Kevin McReynolds, 0 for 2 today. Batting .268. And ball 1.
The Mets have been extremely tough on the relievers in the National League. They're 11-1 against relief pitching this year. I mean, they've had a good record against everybody. They're 25-16 against the starters. But relievers, that's an awfully good record, 11-1.
They have won 10 games this year in their last at bat. And the fastball is missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. And in this homestand, they have won 3 with their last swing in their last at bat. Elster a home run, Johnson a home run, and McReynolds a home run, all in extra innings. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Davey Johnson taking it all in.
Never has finished worse than second in his major league career as a manager. He was a winner as a ball player also. And that puts the count at 3 balls and 1 strike. So Pepino painting himself into a hole. Right into the corner. Pepino.
He started in the Milwaukee organization, came to Houston, and was their sharp reliever. About 2 or 3 years successful, and then a couple at Warren.
So the foul ball puts the count at 3-2.
That's how they got him over to the Cubbies.
Seems to me too harder when he first pitched in the National League for Houston.
Pitched a lot of games for Houston.
'76 games in 1985. 31 games in 1986. Traded to the Cubs in '86 and was in 30 games there. So he was in 61 games in 1986 total. 69 last year. The runners go. The ball grounded foul. So on the 3-2 count and 1 away, Davey Johnson putting the runners in motion. But McReynolds fouled it off.
Berryhill particularly now has to pay attention. Keith Hernandez is on first. Backman's on second. He should be thinking about Keith Hernandez being the slower of the 2 runners. And instead of just going for the lead runner, he's got to, and that's why they're holding Keith Hernandez on at first base right now.
Keith has to wait and make sure that Backman runs before he can start. Sandberg over near the bag at second. The runners go, and the ball hit in the hole as Sandberg was over by second base. And coming in to score easily is Backman, and the Mets lead it 3-0.
Going with the pitch, not coming off the ball. It's been the one thing the Mets have had their troubles with. They've certainly done an excellent job in this game, as you see Backman coming around, scoring the 3rd run for the Mets. That's what Kevin McReynolds has to do. He's got to hurt some people with those men on the base. Go the other way a little bit. Then you might get those pitches inside that you want.
That'll bring up Gary Carter. Carter has walked and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. Cubs had double played then. And up the middle for another base hit. Hernandez scores from third, and the Mets lead it by a score of 4-0 as they have put together 4 singles for 3 runs. Make that 5 singles for 3 runs.
We keep harping on it up here, but against most pitching, if you're having your troubles, Timmy and Ralph were talking of it earlier, you got to go back through the middle. You got to keep that front shoulder in. Gary Carter has been sitting on number 299. In fact, from 298 to 299, it's probably 5 weeks. And pulling that front shoulder out has been his biggest problem. Those home runs will come. He'll get number 300. Driving those runs in like that, that's what counts.
Now the batter is Dave Magadan, who has walked intentionally in the 4th. And Elster came through with a base hit behind him to drive in the first run of the ball game. Magadan had the first single of the ball game back in the 2nd as he singled up the middle, and the count is strike 1.
Seems like this year, Ralph, that the Mets are scoring runs with Dwight Gooden.
He has been the recipient of about an average of 7 runs a game. Magadan misses the breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 now strike 2.
It's the same kind of pitch he got Strawberry to swing and miss for the strikeout. As I said, it's just an excellent pitch. It's a late breaking slider.
Mets have had 7 singles and 1 extra base hit, a double by Darryl Strawberry that led to a run. Cubs and Mets tied for the National League lead in home runs with 51. And Magadan has struck out. So DePina has struck out 2, but he also has given up 2 hits.
Same kind of pitch, that slider again. You're trying to protect the plate. You don't want to take a strike, especially with men in scoring position. Just an excellent pitch by the pitcher. They're going to beat you now and then. You hate it, but they're going to get there.
Well, the book is closed on Pico. 4 innings of work, 4 runs charged against him. He gave up 6 hits, struck out 1 walk, 3, 1 walk intentional. And now the batter, Kevin Elster. Kevin with a base hit and 2 times up. And a strike call. Montreal leading Pittsburgh 3-2 in the 6th inning. Pittsburgh started 5.5 games back of the New York Mets. Philadelphia leading the Cardinals 3-1 in the 5th inning. There's ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Cardinals started 6.5 games back of the Mets. Cubs in 4th place, 9 games back. Strike, and Elster slices it to right field for a base hit. McReynolds coming in to score. The throw goes to third base, and Carter is out as he tries to go from first to third on the base hit to right, and that'll end the inning. But the Mets get another as Elster gets his 2nd run batted into the ball game, and the score at the end of 5 innings of play here at Shea, and it's the Mets 5 and the Cubs nothing. Now here's a word from Budweiser.
Now pitch hitting for Frank Pino.
Back here at Shea, we're going to get a look at this play. Elster going again the other way, driving in a run. Smart move by Palmeiro, going for Gary Carter. Not a smart move by Gary Carter. You're not supposed to make that 3rd out at third base. And right now, we're going to bring Steve Zabriskie in. You ready, Steve?
Hey, I'm ready, Russ. Thanks. And hi, everybody. Vance Law will pinch hit for DePino to lead off the top of the 6th inning. The Mets now leading 5-0. Law hitting .307 on the year, 4 homers and 30 RBIs, but does not have an official at bat as a pinch hitter. Then it'll be the top of the order, Dave Martinez and Rafael Palmeiro against the Doctor, whose fastball is high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's an excellent thinking by Palmeiro in the outfield. Had no chance to get the runner at the plate.
Curveball grounded to third, right at Magadan. Easy play for Dave, and 1 out. That's probably something, Russ, it's not talked about enough, and that is the use of judgment in the outfield. It's one thing to be able to go get the ball, another to have good physical skills, arm and everything. But knowing what to do and what's the best thing to do, who the base runners are, what the situation is.
Pre-thinking the play is the key. Pre-thinking the play.
You got to know exactly what you're going to do before the ball is hit to you.
You have to know who those base runners are and where they sit.
Martinez has grounded to first and walked. And he grounds one in the hole. Backman over, has it, and gets it. Wally Backman has been playing outstanding second base and has really taken advantage of the opportunity the injury to Tim Tuffle has given him.
Wally Backman has very quietly worked his way back into that platoon system now. Davey Johnson's been vocal as you see that nice play that he makes about him now going to play his normal turn against right-handed pitching. Tim Tuffle took some batting practice yesterday and today. Hand seems to be getting better. He can come off that disabled list anytime now.
But they won't bring him back too soon. Palmeiro has tried to center and grounded out, and Backman made an outstanding play to retire him in the third inning. It ended the inning and saved a run with a runner at third base. In the series, Rafael, who started the series as the leading hitter in the league, as he hits a sharp ground ball to Hernandez, he'll be retired by Gooden. And the doctor has it going. He has allowed just 2 base runners, and Palmeiro is 3 for 19 in this series. 5-0 New York in the middle of the 6th. We're back after this for AT&T.
Back here at Shea. Going to have a change here now. Bill Landrum is coming in to pitch for the Chicago Cubs. You see him taking his warm-up tosses right there. A 1-0 record, 1.74 earned run average, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 11 hits, and 10 1/3 innings. Does not have a save yet on this year. Bill Landrum.
And his numbers indicative of the way the Cubs staff has been pitching lately. Over the last 6 games before today, the Cubs staff earned run average 1.93. So to get 5 runs off of Chicago in this stretch, the Mets are doing quite well. 5 runs on 9 hits as Dwight Gooden leads it off. The doctor's 0 for 2, but the way he's pitching today, he's the only one that cares about that 0 for 2.
They always say the pitcher should hope he goes a good 0 for 5.
It's the ABs, not the hits. High fastball for ball 1. Gooden has allowed only 2 runners. One reached on an error on the shortstop Elster, and the other walked in the 3rd. Fouled out of play, 1-1.
I want to correct something I said earlier. I said that the Mets were 11-1 against the opposition relievers. Actually, the Met bullpen is the one that's 11-1. The Mets have 15 wins and 1 defeat against the bullpens of other clubs,
which is even better. 1-2 now to the doctor, who has been operating quite nicely today. Fastball fouled away, still 1-2. Gooden right now hitting .229, and he has as many RBIs as Wally Backman has. He has 6. Another one fouled off. Mets with 9 hits through the first 5 innings, and that is unusual for the last dozen or so games. Right up the middle. Sandberg can't get it. Base hit. 10th hit for New York. First for Gooden. And he's on first with nobody out.
Ryne Sandberg has hit about 4 balls go just by his right side.
Now batting,
facing the batter.
center fielder.
Now he's actually moving to his right, but left side looking out. And he looks like he kind of made an adjustment to cover the hole, and they go up the middle on him. He has been so close to so many. How's the cold, Steve?
Thanks for the sign, but the cold is still with me, unfortunately.
Oh, we can hardly tell.
No, that's right. Well, some people think I sound like this all the time. Dykstra hits it high to right field, but not deep enough. Palmeiro, about 10 feet short of the track, one away. And Gooden still at first.
Second baseman, Wally
Dwight
Backman.
Gooden has the record for the New York Mets pitching staff as far as hits in the season with 21. Certainly working hard on that now. That's his 9th hit of the year.
Wally's 1 for 2 plus a walk in the 5th inning when the Mets scored 4 runs on 6 hits. He singled to right and scored the 2nd run of the inning.
Was on that hit and run play. Sandberg vacated, cost him.
Good breaking ball for strike 1.
Great decision on Backman's part that time to pull the ball. Certainly correct thinking. They should vacate second base for him.
He did demonstrate good bat control too, because it was not an easy pitch to pull. Backman is not ordinarily a pull hitter to begin with. High and away, 1-1.
One of the things that's been lost in the translation of a few things this year is that the Mets really struggled in the daytime last year, especially the first half of the season. They were terrible. This year, they have really performed well in the daytime. 12-5 coming into this game.
Fouled off out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's something that you just can't figure out, why certain teams play better in the daytime. Of course, Chicago better playing well in the daytime, because even now they're only going to have 8 night games initially at Wrigley Field with the new lights.
Great crowd here at Shea. I certainly preferred to play in the daytime, Steve. I liked it. I like that on grass baseball. Daytime.
I like on grass baseball, but I'm partial to night games myself. Good fastball. Backman couldn't catch up with it. And he's out of there for the 2nd out of the inning.
Now batting.
Powder River. Wally Backman just underneath the ball here.
First strikeout for Landrum. And here's Keith Hernandez. Keith with an RBI base hit and a run scored in the 5th is 1 for 3. Fastball for a strike. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gooden, the runner at first base, not being held on as Grace is playing behind him. Strike 2 called. I guess that area between Grace and the bag would be called a grace period.
Grace period?
Yeah, it's a grace period. Giving Doc some time. Oh well.
See, it's a combination of Gooden and him would be goodness gracious.
Not bad.
Sorry, folks. It's getting a little slow up here right now. Just trying to pick it up.
1-2 now to Hernandez. And again, a tie, 2-2. Popeye, Don Zimmer, rarely changes his facial expression or body language through an entire game, no matter how it is going.
He looks mean, but he's really one of the most wonderful people you could ever meet.
It's a pussycat. Well hit, but fouled on the right field side, so it's 2-2 still.
He's got a great smile.
And a quick laugh and a quick wit.
Yes.
He's sort of.
That's a nice smile.
Yeah.
He's got his game face on.
He's sort of almost a throwback, although he comes from that era, I guess, of the players of years gone by. He's a consummate baseball guy. A little bit high and away, 3-2 to Hernandez, and Gooden will be off with the pitch with 2 out.
And Dwight Gooden is thinking right here, please don't foul this off. Please hit it. I don't mind running, but don't get me one of these foul off about 4 jobs.
That's what happened to Gary Carter earlier in the game.
Yes.
Gooden is running. Breaking ball, line to left, base hit. Gooden will have to stop at second as Mumphrey charges. And a 2-out single by Hernandez, his second hit of the day, puts runners at first and second.
Good hitting by Keith Hernandez. Landrum was pitching him tough. Just went the other way with this pitch. The Mets should really look at the game films, as they're called, of this particular game, because their great success has been not pulling off the ball and going the other way. Every hitter that's been successful today has been going back through the box or the other way. And they got 11 hits to show for it. Davey Johnson likes it.
Strawberry with a double and a run scored in 3 trips. A fastball for strike 1. Since Darrell injured his thumb prior to the hamstring injury, he has really not been pulling the ball with any great authority or regularity. He has been driving the ball the other way well. That injured thumb is on his top hand, and that's integral to pulling the ball. That one squirts high, 1-1.
When a hitter, you know, we talk about this all the time, and it should be talked about all the time. The hitters should talk about it all the time amongst themselves, no matter what club they're on. When you do hit the ball the other way, when they make good pitches on the outside part of the plate and you hit the ball the other way, that's when you're going to get the opportunity to get those other pitches, because they've got to pitch you inside more.
That's too far inside, 2-1.
Well, Strawberry, the front shoulder in real good. Whoop, out of the way a little bit. That ball's inside.
But a good shot of Darrell's effort to keep that front side closed.
Got to happen.
Breaking ball fouled off down the left field line, and the count now 2-2.
When you have a hand injury like Darryl Strawberry has, he's really swung the bat quite well with it, but every once in a while you'll foul a ball off, or you'll swing one time where you don't hit the ball, and you really do kind of re-injure it a little bit, and it can bother you the next time or two at the plate.
The count is full, and the runners will be running.
I said that particularly because when he fouled that ball off, he started working that hand. You saw him earlier in the game. He had Bob Sykes, the assistant trainer, retaping that tape job that they have on that left hand of his.
3-2. The runners are off, and the pitch is taken low for ball 4. Bases are loaded. 2 out. And the batter will be Kevin McReynolds.
Joe Altobelli on Don Zimmer's left there. You bet they're talking about ball 4 and pitchers walking hitters.
McReynolds had an RBI base hit in the 5th and also scored a run, 1 for 3. Out of play. Outside of first. Strike 1. Gooden, the runner at third. Hernandez at second. And Strawberry at first. 2 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Mets leading Chicago 5-0. Another one out of play down the right field line, so it's strike 2 to count. The Mets have had 10 singles and 1 double for their 11 hits in this game. They and the Cubs are tied for the league lead with 51 home runs each. And home runs, although they have been dramatic of late, have also been scarce of late. High fastball fouled back on an 0-2 pitch. Still 0-2 to McReynolds.
In this bases loaded situation that the Mets have, one of the finer hitters over the last decade, Jim Rice in Boston, he has had an opportunity 9 times with the bases loaded this year. He's walked 3 times, so he got 3 RBIs, but the other 6 times he struck out 3 and hit into ground ball double plays. He's having a rough season. Does not have a home run. How can Jim Rice not have a home run,
especially playing
on June 5th in Fenway Park?
Well, that shows
Got to
how
be some
bad he's
problems.
going.
Got to be some problems
Right.
there.
Zim talking to Joe Altobelli again.
That's Dick Pole to Altobelli's left.
He's the Chicago pitching coach, and he's obviously intimately involved in the conversation right now.
And he is certainly big enough to talk to any pitching staff. He can get your attention.
They'll at least look like they're listening.
It's like Frank Howard. That's right. He got the screaming, boy, you shut up. You paid attention.
Line drive, base hit, left field. Gooden scores. Hernandez will score. Strawberry trying for third. The throw gets away from Dunston. McReynolds goes to second, and the Mets lead it 7-0. 2 RBIs for McReynolds to give him 3 on the afternoon and a total of 26 on the year.
I don't know whether they're going to give him a single or a double on this ball, but he certainly jumps on a pretty good pitch. Pulls it down the line. Gooden scores easily. Strawberry making an aggressive play here. Had it been a good throw, Strawberry, as Carter was, would have been out.
And Carter is the batter now with runners at second and third. Gary takes one in the dirt. Here comes Strawberry. It didn't get very far away, and Darrell is out. Darrell trying to score on a ball that was probably only 20 feet from the plate. Berryhill made a quick recovery, but the Mets score 2 here in the 6th and lead 7-0 after 6. We're back after this for your Lincoln Mercury dealers. Darrell Strawberry attempting to score a run from third on a wild pitch that got away just briefly from Damon Berryhill.
You see Straw coming in. It's a good toss to the pitcher, a little backhand toss. Tell you what, Landrum got his nose right in there. Give him a little credit. Somebody wanted to really hurt a pitcher. Here it is. They got him if they want him. Got that foot in there, got the glove in there. The play was actually a little closer than I thought it was.
Landrum did a fine job blocking the plate and making the tag. Jerry Mumphrey 0 for 2 reached on an error in the first, grounded to short in the 4th inning. And Dr. K has been in the office today. Mumphrey reaching on an error in the first and a walk to Martinez with 2 out in the 3rd. The only 2 base runners the doctor has allowed. A fastball for strike 1. Mumphrey batting 3rd in the order will be followed by Ryan Sandberg and Mark Grace, with the Mets leading 7-0 as we start the 7th inning. Another good fastball for strike 2. Here's what the doctor has done through 6 innings. Only 2 Ks, but the big thing, only 62 pitches. That's just a little more than 10 per inning, and that's excellent. Strikeout number 3. And 1 out in the 7th.
Nissan National League scoreboard now. 5-1 Philadelphia over St. Louis. That's in the top of the 7th. Top of the 8th, Montreal 3, Pittsburgh 2. Houston will be in San Francisco, Cincinnati, LA, and Atlanta in San Diego all later today.
So things going the Mets' way so far in Philadelphia and in Pittsburgh as they lead Pittsburgh by 5.5 and St. Louis by 6.5 at the start of play today. They could pick up a game on each of those 2 teams.
And that St. Louis series is going to be a big series. It's early in the year, but it's a big series. There'll be a lot of excitement at that series.
Cardinals have been playing very well and hanging right there with the Mets and have moved up to 3rd place, 6.5 out. A fastball high, and it's 2-0 to Sandberg, who's 0 for 2. Rhino, as they call him, has flied to right and grounded to second. And that one's right in there as Sandberg took all the way. 2-1. Ball, did he go too far? An appeal to the first base umpire, or was it called by the home plate umpire? I think Bob Engel called it himself. It is strike 2.
Well, the umpires have little signals that they can help each other out with. Certainly he goes too far on this one. That bat's way out there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 49,000 plus anticipating yet another strikeout. There it is.
Dwight Gooden pouring the heat on, literally right here. Just pours this heater right into Gary Carter's glove on that outside corner. Tough pitch for Ryne Sandberg to hit, but a great pitch for Dwight Gooden.
Here's amazing. Mark Grace, 0 for 2, is grounded to Backman at second both times up and has only 1 for 17 in this series. The Mets have cooled off the hot young rookie first baseman. Grounded to Hernandez. Gooden will cover. 3 more retired by the doctor. The last base runner came in the 3rd inning. We're going to go to the bottom half of the 7th with the Mets leading 7-0 after this for Cadillac. Just one of the 49,174 total here. 47,234 paid. The game officially a sellout this afternoon, and they are having a good time singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and watching the Mets win 7-0 at this point as Gary Carter leads off the bottom of the 7th and takes ball 1. Carter 1 for 2 with an RBI single to center in the 5th. High fastball. I don't know if I got a piece of Carter's bat or what.
Foul ball.
1 ball, 1 strike.
We also want to wish Buddy Harrelson a happy 44th birthday tomorrow.
Buddy, the man born on D-Day, the 6th of June, 1944. Strike 2 to Carter, 1 and 2.
Darryl McKinley.
Darryl McKinley?
That's his name.
Darryl, oh, Darryl, I see who you're talking about now.
Formerly known as Bud.
Yeah. I didn't realize his middle name was McKinley.
I believe that's it.
Carter fights off another high tight one, and it's still 1 and 2.
Might have got him to take that out of the book. Let's see what they got in here.
Darryl McKinley Harrelson, huh?
I just got Bud.
A lot of times guys who are juniors pick up the nickname Bud. And they're named after their father.
Oh, Bubba. It's become a joke up here, gang.
Down where you and I have lived most of our lives, there are a lot of Bubbas.
You can bet on that. Texas seems to breed Bubbas.
That's right. Grounded to short. Dunston gets a Sunday hop, only appropriate. And then that rifle guns out Carter, 1 away.
Nissan American League scoreboard. Yankees 9-2 over Baltimore now, bottom of the 6th. Toronto 8-4 over Boston right now. Cleveland behind Detroit 4-2. Top of the 4th, Minnesota 3, Oakland nothing. That's a pretty good offense to hold down. Bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Chicago over Texas. Also bottom of the 4th, 3-1 Kansas City over Seattle. And California's ahead 2-1 of Milwaukee right now. Bottom of the 3rd inning.
Dave Magadan 1 for 2 plus a walk, had a single to center in the 2nd and was walked intentionally in the 4th inning and then struck out in the 5th. David finally getting some at bats as Davy Johnson has worked him in on this homestand. Fastball sharply hit the short off Dunston. Tough play for Dunston, so we'll see how they score it as Magadan hit a bullet.
play.
You see, Dunstan's a little disappointed. They've called it a hit. He certainly hit a bullet. Steve called it. The ball took a kind of a bad hop on Dunstan. Dunstan's got that glove down there. Came up on him. Hit him pretty good too on the gloved wrist. Those sting a little.
So 1 out and 1 on. Magadan's second hit of the day. And here's Kevin Elster, who has 2 hits and 2 RBIs in 3 trips. And no one has needed it more than Kevin. Ball 1. Landrum, the third Chicago pitcher, as the starter Jeff Pico went 4+ innings. Gave up 4 runs on 7 hits, struck out 1 and walked 3. Frank DePino pitched the 5th inning after 3 consecutive singles off Pico had loaded the bases. He gave up a run on 3 hits, and Landrum has been charged so far with a run on 5 hits. 2 runs, I should say. Fly ball to center. Martinez battling that sun. 2 gone.
Now batting.
And Dwight Gooden gets a nice hand as he strides to the plate for the 4th time in this ball game. Doc is 1 for 3 with a single to center and a run scored in the 6th. Fastball hit deep to left field. Mumphrey going back. Goodbye. 2-run home run for Dwight Gooden. And it's 9-0 New York. Gooden now with 8 RBIs on the year. He has been phenomenal with men on base.
Awfully happy, Dwight Gooden. I know one thing, that plane trip's going to be showered with a lot of conversation about power hitting.
He'll be talking about that certainly until his next start. Dykstra takes a strike.
Maybe till his next birthday, which is after this season is over.
That'll be true. First home run of the year for Dwight. Fouled out of play by Dykstra. 0-2. Lenny 2 for 4 on the day. Singled in the 3rd and the 5th. With 2 out now and nobody on as the doctor cleaned them off. Grounded in the hole. Sandberg can't get it. You talk about a day of frustration. Ryan Sandberg has had balls to his right, balls to his left, back to his right again, back to his left, and they've all been just out of reach.
He's been within a foot of about 7 balls today. Ryan Sandberg.
Let's go back and take a look at Dwight Gooden's home run once again.
Landrum with a fastball up out over the plate. Dwight Gooden jumps on it.
Well, he hit that ball a long way. That's to the back of the bleachers.
Ball is carrying today.
Wind is blowing out, but really more toward right center field. But it got a little help, I'm sure. But Doc will tell you he got all of it.
By the time this plane trip's over tonight, the wind had been blowing in about 40 miles an hour, and he drove it right through it.
Yes, and the ball landed in the parking lot. Keith Miller, pinch hitting for Wally Backman, takes high and away, ball 1. Miller hitting just .083 since being called up from Tidewater with the injury to Tim Tuffman. Well hit to right. Palmeiro going near the line. He can't get it. Dykstra's going to score. Miller's going to have a triple. 10-0 New York.
He's going to go the other way with this ball. It's a fastball up out over the plate again. Tell you, Palmeiro should have caught this ball. He got a terrible jump. Then he coasted after the ball a little bit, and the wind blew the ball away from him. Keith Miller gets a triple on the play, but Palmeiro, had he been really alert, I think he should have caught the ball, Steve.
It certainly was a catchable ball. But again, the wind could have played a factor in causing him to misjudge the ball.
It did, because he coasted after the ball and he didn't get a good jump.
So Hernandez up now. Keith 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Takes inside ball 1. There's the flag blowing out to center. Started to cloud over here now at Shea, and that may mean a change in wind direction, as often happens here.
No, not at Shea.
Sharply hit up the middle. Again, another one by Sandberg. Miller scores to make it 11-0. Hernandez with his 3rd hit and 2nd RBI.
We told you that's Dick Cole. That's the pitching coach.
Right fielder, Darryl.
It's going to be interesting to see right now. This has been a tough series. All these games have been hotly contested. This is the first blowout. Hernandez going back through the middle with a breaking ball. Drives in the Mets' 11th run. We'll see if something happens here with Landrum. Strawberry's at the plate.
Darryl 1 for 3 plus a walk. Misses the fastball for strike 1. Mets with 17 hits. And in the last 12 games prior to today, the Mets team batting average was under 200. So they have broken out of it in a big way. And going on the road to St. Louis and Montreal, it may be good timing. Down low, 1-1.
You're looking at it. We're not talking about it.
High chopper. Sandberg will get this one. Can he get Strawberry? Yes. He gets Darryl, and the inning is finally over. But the Mets played 4 more here in the 7th inning as they have roughed up what has been a very good Chicago bullpen. It's 11-0 as we go to the 8th after this for MetLife.
Catcher Damon Berryhill.
Dwight Gooden has not allowed a hit. He has only allowed 2 base runners, 1 on an error, 1 on a walk. And here's what he did his last time up.
He got it right on the sweet spot. Back into that left center field bleacher area.
A swing and a miss by Damon Berryhill, who has struck out twice. Gooden has struck out 4, and both times Berryhill has been up. He has been caught looking. High heat, but too high, 1-1. Strike 2.
See the breakdown there. With 21 outs, 14 on the ground, 3 in the air, 4 strikeouts. There's only been 2 base runners, 1 on a walk, 1 on an error.
Line drive, base hit, right field. Dwight Gooden with a no-hitter through 7. And Damon Berryhill breaks it up to open the 8th. And a standing ovation for the doctor.
This crowd has certainly got its money's worth today, especially the Met fans, which the majority of them are. 7 innings of no-hit ball, a home run. See him getting ready to throw this fastball.
Still, no Mets pitcher has pitched a no-hitter. A fastball is high. Manny Trio for ball 1. blasting to the wind, one away. Berryhill will remain at first.
Shortstop, Sean Dunston.
Take another look at that hit right now. Berryhill. Dwight Gooden over the top, a tailing fastball. He kind of reached for that ball. That ball was a good pitch. He reached out over the plate. Just slapped that ball to right field.
And it's sort of deja vu because Dwight Gooden went 7 complete no-hit innings back on June 6th, almost to the day, 1984 against the Pirates, and Doug Frobel led off the 8th inning with a single to break it up. So that is almost exactly the same thing, and now here's another base hit into right center field. Strawberry will get over to cut it out. Berryhill slips and falls as he goes around second, and a diving Sean Dunston makes it into second with a double. Runners at second and third. Berryhill almost fell down as he rounded second.
Well, he's talking about it right there.
Now pinch hitting for Bill Landrum.
Sean Dunston going the other way on Dwight Gooden. It's it right in the gap. Strawberry running it down. Dunston playing very aggressive here. Dives into second base with a double. He made that double by hustling from home plate to first.
Darren Jackson's going to be the pinch hitter for Bill Landrum, with runners at second and third and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning.
Jackson, 250 on the season. He's 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. The Cubs have really had some problems as pinch hitters.
Fastball high for ball 1.
I know going into yesterday's game, they were 6 for 60.
It used to be one of their real strong points. Humphrey did a great job for him.
He was from the left side.
Foul back out of play in the count now.
They had Chris Spire from the right side.
1-1.
And Brian Diet from the right side.
There you see Harry Carey and Steve Stone on the Cubs broadcast, and they got a foul ball as it went right into the booth.
Harry Carey.
Now Harry's
What a guy.
throw it down to the fans.
Don't get anybody hurt, Harry.
On the corner, 1-2. All right. Darren Jackson batting for Bill Landrum. 2 on, 1 out. High fastball hit high to left. Should be deep enough to score Berryhill. McReynolds with the throw to the plate. Not in time. Carter to third, not in time. It is now 11-1. New York, as Gooden loses the shutout as well here in the 8th inning.
It's an 11-0 game as this ball is being caught. Certainly, you want to try to help your pitcher and try to get him a shutout. But he has a little trouble with his ball, and he really throws his ball high and allows Dunston to go to third. Not a good throw that time. Usually one of the more accurate throwers in baseball out there in left field, Kevin McReynolds. Sometimes you just don't grip that ball well. I think he was trying to help Dwight Gooden get a shutout.
Yep. Here's Dave Martinez, who's 0 for 2 plus a walk. He nubs a breaking ball to third. Magid will have a tough play. Can't make it. And on the play, Berryhill, or rather Dunston, scores from third. So it's now 11-2 New York.
That's the reason why you really hit cutoff man, because you never know what's going to happen the next time up. A little right off the end of the bat squiver. Nice try by Magid in here. He's got no chance to get Martinez with the good speed he's got. But if Dunston's on second base, he doesn't score, Steve.
That's right. That's the value of hitting the cutoff man. So an RBI infield base hit for Martinez, and here's Palmeiro, who's 0 for 3. That'll be out of play behind the Chicago dugout for strike 1. You're watching Mets baseball 88 on WWOR TV, Secaucus, New Jersey. Palmeiro started this series hitting over 350. So his 3 for 19 so far in this series has cost him more than 20 points on his batting average. Popped up out of play again behind the Cubs dugout. 0-2. Palmeiro still hasn't struck out today. In fact, he's been robbed a couple of times on balls he's hit well. Good play by Backman in the third and Hernandez in the sixth. He has struck out now only 7 times in his last 231 plate appearances. Fouls another one off. Breaking ball, grounded foul. Still 0-2.
Pace of this game has slowed down considerably now.
Grounded to first. Bad hop for Hernandez. He stays with it, flips to Gooden, and they get the third out of the inning. But the Cubs score 2 runs on 3 hits here in the 8th. Mets, however, comfortably in front, 11-2, as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning after this for Bud Light. Well, it's a good time in the dugout today, I'll tell you. They've had a lot to chuckle about and enjoy each other's company about, and that has not been the case lately, as the Mets have been involved in some really tight ball games. Dwight Gooden has been really in control, and we're having a good time up here too, right?
Yes, who we have out here now? Pat Perry on the mound for the Chicago Cubs right now. See a 2-2 record, 5.40 earned run average. Walked 9, struck out 11. Given up 22 hits in 21 2/3 innings. Does not have a save. And if you see those hits right up there with the innings pitched, somebody's struggling a little bit.
Kevin McReynolds will lead off the 8th inning for New York. Kevin with 3 RBIs and a 2-for-4 day. He's also scored a run. 11-2 New York. And a fastball at the knees for strike 1. A tapper by Perry and a base hit to center field. Kevin didn't hit it very well, but that's how things are going for New York today. Ball has eyes. 18 hits now for the Mets. McReynolds 3 for 5.
One thing that's happening there too, Steve, is that the Cubs have certainly had scouts watching the Mets, and they've been pulling the ball so much that they've had Dunston playing that hole considerably. The Mets going back through the middle today. I mean, it's been unbelievable how many balls have been through the middle and just by Ryne Sandberg. I mean, he's gonna be on that plane trip going home today talking to himself.
Shaking his head. Carter reaches out and punches one to left field. Mumphrey comes in. 1 away. Well, maybe soon Gary Carter will hit career home run number 300. And he will back off on trying to pull everything.
Third baseman, Dave Magadan.
Had some success yesterday. Had a great pinch hit. There you see Sandberg there. He's been scurrying to the left and scurrying to the right. But there's been no ball in sight. Where's Timmy?
Fastball right in there to Magadan for strike 1. Dave is 2 for 3, plus a walk, and he scored a run. Sandberg's made 2 putouts today, but he could have made about 10.
Yes, he could. Now whether he's given a sign or showing disgust about that.
Grounded to short. That was unusual because Sandberg's signal to Dunston was that Dunston was going to be covering the bag. The ball was hit right at Dunston, and so Sandberg had to cover the bag.
Very little sidearm swerve, Magadan way out front. Little toss to second base. That was such a slow roller and an 11-2 score. The decision by Sandberg was to not be there for the collision. That's the truth.
Good day for Kevin Elster. 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs as he swings and misses for strike 1.
To having some success going back through the middle. Decided that time that he was going to go for the pump. Pulled right off that ball.
Gets it in on the fist, rounds it off. Foul for strike 2.
In baseball, if you're hitting and you're getting jammed a little bit from time to time, you're on the ball, then you've got a chance to get some hits, because when your ball's jamming you just a little bit, a lot of line drives can come out of that. But if you're hitting it on the end of the bat, you're pulling off the ball, you're in deep trouble.
Good hitters get jammed because they jam themselves a lot of times.
Well, they also could force the ball through the infield, hit good line drives through the infield. Doing just that.
Low and away, 1 and 2. 2 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 8th inning. Both St. Louis and Pittsburgh still losing their games. That one gets away from Berryhill. Magadan going to second, the throw not in time.
Ball's going to be in the dirt. Another breaking ball. Tough play for Berryhill. Bounces out pretty good, but he's got no chance to get Magadan.
Right at Dunston, and so Sandberg had to cover the bag.
Very little sidearm swerve. Magadan way out front. Little toss to second base. That was such a slow roller and an 11-2 score. The decision by Sandberg was to not be there for the collision. That's the truth.
Good day for Kevin Elster. 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs as he swings and misses for strike 1.
To having some success going back through the middle. Decided that time that he was going to go for the pump. Pulled right off that ball.
Gets it in on the fist, rounds it off. Foul for strike 2.
In baseball, if you're hitting and you're getting jammed a little bit from time to time, you're on the ball, then you've got a chance to get some hits, because when your ball's jamming you just a little bit, a lot of line drives can come out of that. But if you're hitting it on the end of the bat, you're pulling off the ball, you're in deep trouble.
Good hitters get jammed because they jam themselves a lot of times.
Well, they also could force the ball through the infield, hit good line drives through the infield. Doing just that.
Low and away, 1 and 2. 2 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 8th inning. Both St. Louis and Pittsburgh still losing their games. That one gets away from Berryhill. Magadan going to second, the throw not in time.
Ball's going to be in the dirt. Another breaking ball. Tough play for Berryhill. Bounces out pretty good, but he's got no chance to get Magadan. It's got to be a wild pitch.
And it is. So Magadan at second with 2 out, and the count 2-2 now to Kevin Elster. Three and 2. A reminder, Ralph will have Kiner's Corner for you right after the game, and we'll have all those scores as well as highlights. Ralph may have to have an extra long edition if they're going to show all the highlights in this game.
18 hits for the Mets. 11 runs. Going to take a few of those to St. Louis with him.
Ball 4. Perry bounces another one up there on a 3-2 pitch. Runners at first and second, and Dwight Gooden will get his 5th at-bat of the day as Dick Pohl, the Chicago pitching coach, looks on in exasperation. Gooden has singled and scored and hit a 2-run home run. He's also lined to center and flied to center, so he's made good contact every time up. And he hits it sharply to Dunston at short, who goes to Sandberg at second to end the inning. 2 left, a hit and a walk for the Mets here in the 8th. We go to the 9th, 11-2 New York. After this for the good old Skies. Well, the man who would be king today is number 16 right there. What a day for Dwight Gooden. 7 innings of no-hit baseball for the 2nd time in his young career. A 2-run home run, 2 hits on the day. And he has been in complete command. Going for complete game number 6. And here in the 9th, it'll be the middle of the order, Mumphrey, Sandberg, and Grace. Jerry Mumphrey takes high and away, ball 1. Mumphrey's 0 for 3, reached on an error, grounded out, and struck out. Fastball is missed, 1-1. The high heater fouled back, 1-2.
That home run of Dwight Gooden's also puts the Mets in the #1 slot for home runs in 1988 in the National League. Coming into this game, Mets and Cubs all tied up, 51 apiece. So he'll have something extra to talk about.
Grounded to second. Keith Miller right there. 1 away. Bill Robinson having something to smile about, as the Mets hitters have been maligned during this homestand when they've had anemic batting average, and the pitching has basically carried the club, but along with late inning heroics and timely hitting. Bill works at it. Maybe some of what he's been working at is getting across. Sandberg 0 for 3. Now he's 1 for 4 as he singles hard up the middle. Only the 4th hit for the Cubs with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
First baseman Mark Grace.
The really good hitters never concede times at bat. It's 11-2. You're facing one of the toughest pitchers in baseball. The easiest thing in the world to do is to concede. Ryne Sandberg busting it all the way through. I like to see that.
Well, that's what makes him one of the premier players in the game. A guy who has a chance to become one of the premier players, according to the experts, is Mark Grace. Mark has not had a good series. He's 0 for 3 today, and he takes a strike here. He's had 1 hit in 18 at-bats during this 4-game series with the Mets. Strike 2. But he has only struck out 1 time in his last 74 plate appearances.
That's great. That's great. And Fiora in '86, he hit 342. Last year in Pittsfield, he hit 333. We're talking about a guy who's going to be a good major league hitter.
Pops this one up. Will Magadan have a play? No, he will not. Still bouncing around. Don't get hurt now, guys. Wind up having to have a $2,000 operation because you were chasing a $5 baseball.
Jeez, kind of hard on the guy, aren't you?
See guys disregard $500 suits of clothes going after him.
It's a major league ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Grace has really proven to be something special just by the fact that most young power hitters who come to the big leagues tend to strike out a lot. He hardly ever does, but he's 1 and 2 here against Gooden. Just outside, a little bit low, 2 and 2. When he was growing up, Keith Hernandez was his idol, and that's why he wears number 17 now with the Cubs. Grounded up the middle. Base hit into center field. Gooden couldn't flag it down. Sandberg's going to go to third. And with 1 out in the ninth, the Cubs refuse to roll over. Runners at first and third.
Going back through the middle on Gooden.
Catcher Damon Berryhill.
Tailing fastball all over the plate. Gooden makes an effort for it. Doesn't get that glove down quite quick enough.
So Grace at first with Sandberg at third. And the batter now is the man who broke up Gooden's no-hitter leading off the 8th inning. Damon Berryhill, who singled to right and later scored in the 8th. Breaking ball ripped foul. Sort of a half-hearted effort by the ball girl. I can't blame her a bit.
Boy, I wish she made a worse effort. Ball almost got her.
I mean, that showed some fortitude on her part to reach for that one. But it's strike one to Berryhill. Strike two.
We said the Mets go on to St. Louis, a 3-game series. Sid Fernandez against McWilliams Monday, Cone against Tudor on Tuesday, and Ojeda against De Leon on Wednesday. We bet there'll be 3 sold-out crowds in St. Louis.
It's going to be rocking. We'll bring you Wednesday night's game beginning at 8:30 Eastern Time right here on WWOR. A fastball foul back. Still 0-2. Gooden's extra shirts, undershirt behind jersey. May be the one he already took off and replaced. Although if it is, why would it be hanging in the dugout? Line drive to center. Dykstra got a late jump, but comes up with the play. Sandberg will tag and score. And it is now 11-3 New York. On a sacrifice line drive that really should have been a base hit. Dykstra robbing Berryhill of a hit with a fine diving catch. 2 out.
Dykstra doesn't get the initial jump on it. It's a tough ball to see. But then he comes in quickly. Makes an excellent catch right there. So after the fact, you like to see an outfielder get a great jump on the ball. But I'll tell you, you get those white shirts, get a little glare off the back here. It's tough to get those jumps.
Manny Trio 0 for 3 takes a fastball high, ball 1. Hardest play for a center fielder is that line drive hit right at him. And Dykstra's speed enabled him to overcome his initial mistake of moving back on the ball. But really, to be safe, what you should do when in doubt is take a step back. Because it's a lot easier to come in than it is to go back. Down low, 2-0.
The thing to do is to get a good jump. Make a mistake, you handle that as best you can. You react after the fact.
And he did. Well, one of the new relief pitchers out there.
A new call-up.
Yeah, he's going to come in for Doc if things get out of hand here. He's just waiting to cover that tarp. He's just telling Doc to get this third out so he can cover the mounds with the tarp and go home.
He's almost in the starting blocks.
But it's 3-0 to Manny Trio. 3-1.
Sometimes I wonder about, Dwight Gooden, great athlete. You have a game like this, 11-3. He's thrown a lot of extra pitches now in this last inning. I know the Met bullpen has had some work lately.
Line to right, Strawberry should get it, and the game is over. The Cubs make it interesting with 3 runs over the last 2 innings, but Dwight Gooden is now 9-1 on the year. He has pitched 6 complete games, and he pitched a no-hitter for 7 innings until Damon Berryhill broke it up, leading off the 8th. At one point, Gooden retired 13 Chicago Cubs in a row, and the Mets win it big with 18 hits, 11-3. Rusty and I will be back to wrap it up, and Ralph will have Kiner's Corner for you, so stay with us. We're back to Shea after this for Pan Am. Steve Zabriskie and Rusty Staub back with you at Shea, where the Mets have had an interesting and exciting homestand, to say the least. And they capped it off with an 11-3 victory over the Chicago Cubs as they head for St. Louis and Montreal on a one-week road trip, beginning right after this ball game, as a matter of fact. And Rusty, I think it was a little bit ironic, and the Mets pitching carried them so much through this homestand when the hitters really weren't producing. Today they come out and ramp out 18 hits, and at the same time, Dwight Gooden, for the second time in his career, comes very close to a no-hitter.
Well, a lot of good things happened with that offense. Certainly Kevin Elster's 2 hits were big hits for him. McReynolds has been swinging the bat a lot better lately. 3 hits, a couple of RBIs. In fact, I think 3 RBIs for him. Keith Hernandez got a couple of hits. To get this offense going again, especially coming into these series against the teams from the Eastern Division, is a very important part, because as good as the pitching's been, especially going on the road, you got to throw some offense out there if you expect to win on the road.
Well, the Mets seem to have broken out of their hitting slump, but then the old adage is maybe they should have saved some of those hits for the tough St. Louis pitching staff.
They come when they come. You just got to battle every day.
Take what you can get, right? Well, the doctor took charge is what he took today, really from the opening inning. Through 7, he allowed 1 runner by an error and another walk. And as he pitched 7 no-hit innings until it was broken up leading off the 8th by Damon Berryhill's single, he also hit a 2-run home run. As a hitter, Doc was 2 for 5, a base hit, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He'll be talking about that a lot longer than he will the 7 no-hit innings. Doc is now 9-1 on the year and pitched his 6th complete game. He is the Budweiser player of the game, and we'll be back to further wrap it from Shea after this for Budweiser. Well, here are the rather large totals for the Mets. They had 11 runs on 18 hits, 2 errors. The Cubs with 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Dwight Gooden goes all the way. His 6th complete game, pushing his record to 9-1 on the year. He struck out 4 and allowed 3 runs on 5 hits while walking only 1. The loser is Jeff Pico, who is now 1-1 after pitching a shutout in his first major league start. Pico lasts just 4+ innings. And New York Mets baseball has been brought to you this afternoon by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Manufacturers Hanover, the financial source worldwide. By Nissan Cars and Trucks, built for the most important race of all, the human race. By RC Cola. Some people go out of their way for the taste of RC. By Mita. All we make are great copiers. By AT&T International Fax Transmission. Is there really any other way to do business? AT&T, the right choice. And by the New York Daily News, New York's hometown paper. Guests on our program receive the Professional Home Protection Starter Kit by Black & Decker. Compliments of True Value hardware stores and home centers. This is Steve Zabriskie for Ralph Kiner, Tim McCarver, and Rusty Staub, inviting you to join us again Wednesday evening when the Mets take on the Cardinals in St. Louis. At 8 o'clock Eastern Time, there will be a special edition of Kiner's Corner, followed by the ball game beginning at 8:30 right here on WWOR-TV. And stay tuned right now for Kiner's Corner and Ralph's special guest, none other than the doctor, Dwight Gooden, who was both the pitching and hitting star today, without a doubt. The executive producer of Mets Baseball 88 is Rick Miner. Today's game produced and directed by Jeff Mitchell. Associate producer Steve Olbaum. Associate directors John Calabrese and Vincent Sinopoli. The announcers on the preceding telecast were approved and contracted for by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises. And as always, Mets Baseball is a production of Channel 9 Sports. From a very happy Shea Stadium and a beautiful day and a sellout crowd until Wednesday evening in St. Louis, we wish you a pleasant evening and a great week. So long, everybody.